Hi everyone, this is Matt, and basically this is our landscape tutorial part 4. Now boy oh boy, it's been a long time since I've worked on this thing. All of you guys who are members of the site know that I moved, and basically this tutorial was put on hold during the move because I just wasn't properly set up to work on it. Now basically what I want to do today for you in this part 4 of this landscape tutorial is I want to work on the barn. And my whole deal with the landscape tutorial is that most of this is just all about pencil stroke, okay? The direction of your pencil stroke is everything when you're drawing texture. And so what I tried to do with the grass is I'm pretty much going up with this short choppy stroke, and then with the trees I was really trying to pay attention to the softness of the leaves and all the negative space in the leaves. And now with the grass now, I'm really going to try with the wood grain. I'm really going to try to focus on getting some of the knots in the wood. Since it's an old building from the 1800s, I'm going to get irregularities in the wood. And there's some things in that barn that I'm going to leave out, like this barn was added on to over the years in the photograph that's probably right below this video, but I'm going to leave that out. Now, and I'm going to emphasize the stone foundation a little bit more. You really can't even see the stone foundation in the photo, but I'm going to emphasize that. Now, before we go, you guys remember way back when we spoke about a compositional shape, utilizing the grid to place things, okay? Then doing a 3-value study, and then doing a all-value study. Now, why am I showing you this again in part 4? Well, it's just a reminder that you always want to remember the big picture. So if I didn't have this thing, and it was a couple weeks since I worked on this, or a couple of months since I've worked on this, I would forget what my main focus was with the whole tutorial and with the whole drawing itself. So I look at this, and this is my roadmap. So now I know that I originally wanted to make the barn pretty dark, and so I'm going to build up the dark slowly. Now, I'm working on the Bristol paper. It's the smooth Bristol paper, so this takes time to build up, and I'm not going to obviously film every square inch of this tutorial for you because it'll just go too slow. But what I've done is I've loosely added the perspective lines, and I'm going to just hint at a few of them. I certainly do not want to outline each board totally, because then there's just something about when you do that. Let me zoom in a little bit for you guys, and let me just bring this over. There's just something about when you do that, when you outline each and every board, your drawings have a tendency to kind of look a little flat. So I'm going to just kind of put in a little texture with the side planes of some of these boards right over here before I start to go. But let me just work on this little section right now. So basically I'm going with my pencil stroke in this direction, and I should, there goes my mic, just fell off one moment. I should basically have my value study up pretty close to my drawing, and I'm going to keep it off to the side at my chair, but have your value study out when you're, and look at it, because a lot of people will do it and then they say, well, I did it and that's done, so now let's look at the final, and they never really look at their reference, and they don't look at their studies, and so they're kind of almost doing it out of their imagination again. So look at the stuff that you've done and incorporate that. So, this little edge over here, I'm going to try to think about the shingles that are coming down. And so edges and texture in a landscape piece are golden. And, God, I have a whole different feel for this drawing right now than I did when I was originally working on it. And let's just, leave, you guys see this line in the photo reference? I'm going to leave that out. And it's okay when you're working on this thing. If you're working on your own piece, if I was working on this without the video camera, I would be turning it sometimes, my drawing sideways, so I could really get the feel and the flow of my hand. This is a little awkward to go with my hand, especially in this direction. And so, but the perspective is going to be key. Now I'm looking at my reference, so most of my pencil strokes, and I'm going to actually do a longer stroke right now. This will make this go much faster. Yeah, big time. But I don't want to lose my clapboards, I guess you would call them, on the side of the building, so I want to retain that. Yeah, big time. So what you also want to do is vary the boards. Some of these boards I'm going to come on down with a short little choppy stroke, and there's some like stains of mold and mildew on the wood that's very, very old. You combine that with some knots and some irregularities in the grain of the wood. And so again, this stuff starts to give your drawings a whole different feel in terms of the textures. And again, that's all pencil stroke. Just holding back a sneeze. I'm on some serious Claritin right now. Alright, we're going to stop this video for a second, and I'm going to have a sneezing attack. We'll be right back.